Hey, it's me, Stu Helm, the Food Fan, and I am here in my home, which I call Food Fan HQ. And I'm doing my TV show. This is my third episode. These are my co-hosts, the houseplants. That's my kitchen. This guy, I guess, one of my co-hosts too, the other houseplant. But anyways, before I get to my main topic for this episode, I want to talk about yesterday's topic. I got a nice package in the mail from Asheville Goods. And I didn't notice in the package that there was this wonderful chocolate bar from French Broad Chocolate Lounge. And so I wanted to mention that today. So let's just go over the whole package, which was French Broad Chocolate Lounge chocolate bar. A nice bag of grits from Early Girl Eatery. I'll eat those. I like grits. I'll eat that chocolate too. And some crackers from Roots and Berries, or Roots and Branches. Sorry, Roots and Berries refers to something else, right? And then we got a bottle of these Roots and Branches crackers are really fucking good. By the way, some of my favorite shits on earth. And then we got a bottle of 12 Bones barbecue sauce, so suck on that. And then you got some Lusty Monk mustard and some Celtic sea salt. So I like all them things, and I'm all out of mustard, so thank you. Oh, and finally, last but not least, I'm sorry, the Hickory Nut Gap Farm wild, uncured, mild, not wild, but I'm sure it's wild too, beef stick. It's called mild beef stick. So that's what I had down here. I had my hand on a beef stick. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I got from Asheville Goods, and you can check them out at AshevilleGoods.com. And what it is it's a artisanal gift box company. And so, order up a gift box from Asheville for your friends. Those are all local Asheville companies. All right, but that's not my main topic. My main topic today is yesterday, or 2 days ago, I went on a food tour, a walking food tour of downtown Asheville with my usual co-host of my podcast, which is avlfoodfans.com. My usual co-host is Chef Joe Scully from the restaurants Chestnut and Corner Kitchen. And Jeff, I always call him that. That's so weird. Joe, you've been replaced by houseplants. Yeah, these are my new best friends. But anyways, Joe and I went on a walking tour of downtown Asheville, guided tour, guided by a gentleman named Hank. Hey, Hank. And it was part of Eating Asheville. So you can go to eatingasheville.com to check out what the dealio is there. But we all met at 2 p.m. at the Champagne Bar, a.k.a. the Battery Park Book Exchange on Battery Park Ave, or Drive, not sure. The Champagne Bar, and Joe and I don't drink, so we got a lot of soda pops along the way, but everybody else got wine and champagne and shit. So at the Battery Park Book Exchange, everybody got a glass of champagne and two amuse-bouches, or amuse-bouches, or whatever. And they were good. One of them was pimento cheese on a cracker, and the other was a little bit of sunburst trout pate or something on a cracker. It was good too. And then we hoofed it on over. It was a walking tour. So we walked over to Cucina 24 on Wall Street, and there was Chef Brian Canapelli himself. A cool guy, great chef. I think it's cool that on the walking tour we got to meet a couple of Asheville's great chefs, and that's not even including Chef Joe Scully, who was on the tour with us. There were about 6 tourists and 4 locals on the tour, and there were two of the locals had just moved there 2 months ago, moved here 2 months ago, and so they were taking the tour as a way to get acquainted with a bunch of restaurants quickly, and I would recommend it for that, even for locals who've lived here for a long time but haven't tried these restaurants. I'm going to say right now that I'm recommending this tour for locals to get familiar with a few of the restaurants on the tour without spending an arm and a leg at each restaurant, and then you can sort of pick and choose which ones you want to go back to. I think that's the whole point of the tour for locals. But anyways, at Cucina 24, Chef Brian styled us out with a little tiny Caesar salad type thing that had a piece of 4-hour roasted celery root and some beautiful white anchovies, and it was fucking great. And everybody else got a glass of wine, and Joe and I got a soda pop. And then we walked over to Table and Imperial Life, which are upstairs, downstairs from each other, and we all went up to Imperial Life, where none other than Chef Jacob Sessoms came out, and he talked to us all, and he served us a beautiful little piece of ceviche fish with a green mole, and he showed us the fish. Like, he brought out this dead fish all carved up, and that's what we were eating, and it was fucking great. If you like ceviche and raw fish and shit, you're gonna love it. He's be serving that piece of fish all week, or not all week until it runs out. Be running out today or tomorrow probably. But then we walked over to Zambra, and I want to say one of the cool things about this tour is that you go to the restaurants when they're not open to the public. And so at Zambra, it's like walking into a secret world, you know. It's like cool down there, and there's always talk about changing, that Zambra should change the decor, and I say leave it, this is the way it is, and Joe agrees with me. It's fucking cool. And they gave us a pretty decent piece of food at Zambra. It was like some rice and some beans and a piece of braised pork cheek on top. And I want to tell people, don't be afraid to eat cheek. Like, I had never eaten cheek until a couple of years ago, and it's fucking delicious. It's like one of my favorite things now. And then, so that was pretty filling, and everybody got sangria, and Joe and I got a soda pop. And then from Zambra, we took a kind of a funny little detour over to, I should say that at table, everybody got wine, and Joe and I got a soda pop. And then from Zambra, we went to the chip shop, the gourmet chip shop, and that was a funny little detour, all these really high-end restaurants, and then the chip shop. And what can I say? I like chips. We had some chips. I had a glass of water. There was no wine to be had for the wine drinkers, and we moved on to Strata. And at Strata, we got another... Strata's right up the street from the chip shop on Broadway. And then we got another decent-sized piece of food that was a raviolo. And I learned from Joe that ravioli is the plural and raviolo is the singular. So, hey, it pays to hang out with a chef. And so I ate the fuck out of that thing. It was really good. I'd had that before. It's one big raviolo that's cooked and then grilled, so it has a sear on it. I noticed other people were kind of getting full, which answers a question you may have. Do you get enough to eat on this tour? I thought we got enough to eat, plus the wine drinkers got styled out with some wine, and they had more wine at Strata. And Joe and I had a soda pop, and of all the soda pops that I had yesterday, the one at Strata was the best. And everybody seemed to be loving the shit out of the wine and learning a lot about the wine. It was like special wine, you know. I couldn't give less of a fuck. And then from the Strata, we went to the last stop, last stop, which was Chocolate Gems right next door. And Chocolate Gems is a chocolatier in downtown, one of the best chocolatiers in downtown. There's 3 or 4 at least. And Joe and I remarked to each other that it's tough, must be tough for the other guys to live in a downtown area where there's an 800-pound gorilla called French Broad Chocolate Lounge. And where's that candy bar? I just had that. I could show you that branding while I'm talking about it. Here it is. The French Broad Chocolate Lounge is like blowing up nationwide. Everybody knows about that. But I just want to say Chocolate Gems is really fucking good. And if you don't want to wait in line and you just want to have some nice chocolate and a quiet atmosphere and some great hot chocolate, like drinkable chocolate, Chocolate Gems is just as good, in my opinion. I'm not a chocolate expert. And at Chocolate Gems, they have the best gelato in town. Some people call it gelato. I don't give a fuck what you call it. It's the best in town is at Chocolate Gems. And they don't always have it because they make it in-house. And yesterday it was like fucking 1 degree outside and we're walking around downtown. I loved it. I'm from way up north. But everybody else fucking hated it. And so they didn't have any gelato at Chocolate Gems because it was like Arctic weather. But during the warm months, go to Chocolate Gems for gelato and check out their chocolates and shit. These nice people. And that was the end of the tour. And how did I like it? What's my assessment of it? I thought it was fucking great. You know, like if I was looking to try all those restaurants and just get a sample, and I hadn't been to any of them, it would have been perfect. And the people that had just moved here 2 months ago were all excited because now they had a list of places to go next. And we ran into Jonathan Ammons on the way, the great food writer from Dirty Spoon. And he said that it was his favorite food tour. That was just coincidental that we bumped into Jonathan. Anyways, I'm almost at 10 minutes, so I'm going to say goodbye really quick before the video runs out because that happened already twice. It's my 3rd motherfucking take of this episode. All right, I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll talk to you soon.